YouTube, welcome back to Erin with Hobby. Today's hobby is books. I'm discussing my August, September and the start of October book reads. So, I will be discussing all the books that I have read pretty much recently. I have a few. Let me just do a quick count. 10 books within 2 months. I think I did pretty good, considering it was final term of uni. I think I did okay. But without further ado, let's get into the books I read. First up, Manga. So, the first ones that I read was Demon Slayer Volume 4 and Volume 5. I am slowly making my way through these as I buy them. I am slowly collecting them. I love Demon Slayer. It is basically following Tanjiro, who is a Demon Slayer, trying to return his now demon sister to a human. That is the basic premise. I really enjoyed it when I read it. I read it online first and then I'm like, no, I'm buying this. So I am slowly making my way and I have 5 of the volumes. It is fully completed and I will slowly buy it as I make my way through. The other manga that I have read recently is Given Volume 5. This one is actually a bit thicker than the other volumes, so I quite enjoyed it. So Given is a boy romance, and it follows a band and is a bit of a music theme. It's a bit more adult in some of the illustrations that it has, so pre-warning if you want to read it. But it's just a really cute story. It's a slice of life following them trying to be in the band and do well, and I really enjoyed this. I quite liked this volume. There's a bit more development in some of the romance, so I was very happy to read this one. The next book that I read was Because You Love to Hate Me, 13 Tales of Villainy by 13 authors. So this one I read for the Dimmicks Reading Challenge to read a book of short stories. I have wanted to read this since I heard about it on Jessie the Reader's channel, on Peruse Project. I love those 2 channels. I believe they're the only 2 that I watch. Yes, they're the only 2 I watch. I eventually maybe would like to get into some of the other channels, but yeah, if you want to watch some really awesome booktubers, check them out in the description below. The premise for this was these booktubers were partnered with authors. There was 13 booktubers, and so they gave a prompt to an author about a tale of villainy, and the authors took that and wrote a short story about a villain. So one of the prompts, if I can find it, was a dark sorcerer's motives for seeking immortality or omnipotence. So that was such an unique twist, and they took it in such an awesome way. There was one story in particular I didn't like, but that's because this might sound really weird, but there wasn't any murder. No proper murder. It was sort of just everything happened by a chance. So that's the only reason I didn't really like it, which probably is not the nicest thing to be saying. But anyway, I really liked reading this, and they were awesome stories. I was so happy to finally read this. Okay, the next book I have been reading since placement, which finished in the middle of the year, and that is Arabian Nights, translated by Sir Richard Burton. Now this I read for the Dimmicks Reading Challenge to read a translated work. Oh my gosh, this took me so long to get through. Now, this is the translation for Arabian Nights, which follows Scheherazade, who tells stories to try and prolong her life from her husband, who has every night he marries a new woman, and then by dawn they're dead. So she's telling a story to try and stay alive. So some of the stories I really enjoyed. Some of them not so much. Some of them just took me a while. And I think the problem was the way it was written was like Bible words. That is the only way I can describe it. And not that Bibles are bad, but the way it's written is that old English style. And it took me so long to get through this. I had to break it up, otherwise I would never have got anything else read. It was stressful. But I got done. It's a gorgeous book with gold edges, beautiful blue, and I love it. Next, I read Go the Distance by Jen Kalaniti. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And this is one of the installments for the What If Disney stories, which is what if Meg had to become a goddess? So basically, this story follows after the end of the Hercules Disney movie, where instead of Zeus letting Hercules go back to Earth as a mortal to be with Meg, his dad says no. And Hera comes along and offers Meg a chance. She has to go on a quest to become a goddess so that she can be with Hercules. I loved this story. It was so cool. I loved looking more into Meg's character. I loved having a chance to watch her grow and understand love some more. I really enjoyed it, and I love the Hercules movie anyway, so this was a lot of fun to read, and it was a bit short and it went really quick. I loved it. The next book I read was another one for the Dimmicks Reading Challenge. Wasn't the original one I picked, but I picked it, and that is Out of the Dust by Karen Heasey. I picked this one for an award-winning book, which won the John Newbery Medal. So this is a story set in somewhere, doesn't actually say. It's set in the middle of not in the middle of nowhere, but in a sort of a desolate place where they get ravaged by dust storms. And the main character suffers a tragedy after tragedy and sort of has to go through that and live life. It is kind of emotional. It was a really quick read because this book is written in poems and verse, I think is the way to say it. So I quite enjoyed it. It was a different read for me. I haven't read much in terms of verse, and I've had this book for a while, and I actually quite enjoyed reading it. It was a really good read. The next book is also a one for the Dimmicks Reading Challenge. Not the original one again, because I wanted to read it, but that is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince by Robin Hobb. This one was to read a book with 5 words in the title. Now this is a little short story that fits in with the Farseer world. Now this story is set, it's sort of far in the past. It's a history story that is passed down and told about with disdain throughout the story, because it's about sort of the witted with their wit magic sort of thing, and it looks at that side of thing, and I quite enjoyed it. I would recommend not reading this if you haven't read any of the others in the story, because it gives away, but it's sort of, you won't really get what's happening because you won't know what the wit magic is, you won't know what skill is, you won't know little bits and pieces that are mentioned. So I quite enjoyed it, but that's only because I love Robin Hobb and I love her world. And one of the next books that I read was Catwoman Soulstealer by Sarah J. Maas. Now this is a book part of the DC Icons series, and so it follows Selena Kyle as she comes back to Gotham City after being gone for a few years, and she comes back and she is going to rain mischief on Gotham. It's awesome. I really enjoyed this. It's a very different take on some of the traditional female bad guys that you see within the Batman world. Like, it has a spin even on Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and Selena. They're all such different characters. I really enjoyed reading this, and there was some awesome twists that I didn't quite imagine that I would see. And I quite enjoyed the integration of the League of Assassins and how they played a part in it. It was really cool. And the final book that I have read through these past 2 and a bit months is Here Lies Arthur by Philip Reeve. Now, this was a different story. I did enjoy it though. Basically, it follows a young girl who is now apprenticed to Merlin. I don't think that's how you quite pronounce his name, but that's how I said it. And Merlin tells stories to build up the fame of Arthur. And it's set back during when they would normally rule. And it's actually in a time where people believe in the superstitious and magic, but Merlin just tells stories to make it sound like magic is real. And I quite enjoyed that side of it. The ending was a bit odd and a different take on how I thought it may have gone, and it was a bit I was unsure how it would go, but I did enjoy reading it, and I am looking forward to checking out some of his other works, but they're not on the highest end of my priority list. Okay, so those are all the books that I have read since August, pretty much. I enjoyed most of them. I actually really did, and I've had a pretty good reading couple of months. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button and comment down below what you've read recently. I'd love to know what you've been reading. Also, check out the link in the description for my invite to the Discord chat, because I'd love to have a chat with you guys and get to know you some more. Also, if you want to see more videos, subscribe to the channel. I talk about anything that catches my interest, pretty much. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely day and continue to live well. Bye guys. Bye guys.